So this right here is the Oraimo Spacebox Pro, and this looks very good. Now on top here you have the power button, Bluetooth button, decrease volume, increase volume, play button. This is to change the light effect, and also if you want a much more deeper bass, press this button to increase or to make the bass feel much heavy. On the back you are getting a port, a USB Type-C port for charging, also a USB Type-A port for pen drives, and you can also use that same port to charge your device. So it supports DC out as well, USB DC out, TF card, aux cable, and you can also have a microphone connected to this speaker for karaoke sections, and we'll get to that later in the video. Now, do you actually pay 930 cedis for the Oraimo Spacebox Pro? So now to find out these hidden features and also make some settings to this Bluetooth speaker, you need to download the Oraimo app on your device. So you head over to the App Store or Play Store, depending on the device you are using. Then you search for Oraimo Sound app. Now you want to make sure you have this installed on your device. So once you are done, you tap on open. Now once you open the app, this is how it's going to look like. You can see a list of devices I have connected here, but on your side you are going to see a blank space with this add device button. So you make sure you select add device, and also you want to make sure the Oraimo Spacebox Pro is also in pairing mode. Otherwise you are going to be getting this message or this notification saying search failed. Make sure you also allow permissions to the app to be able to use your location. I think that also helps it to be able to find the Oraimo Spacebox Pro. Now once you're able to have your device paired to the Bluetooth speaker, you should see the device here, which is going to be shown as Oraimo Spacebox Pro. So you select this and it's going to bring you to this page. Now on this page, you get a plethora of options and features you can have access to, and you can make a whole lot of settings or change settings here for the Oraimo Spacebox Pro. Now these are the hidden features you can have access to in the app. The very first one is voice prompt. When you scroll down to more, you should see voice prompt, and this allows you to turn on and turn off the voice prompt feature you do get on the Spacebox. So you see whenever you turn on the Bluetooth speaker, you do hear turn on pairing connected. You can turn this off, and this is actually going to eliminate that sound from coming out of your Bluetooth speaker if you do not actually want to hear that. When I try and turn off the Bluetooth speaker, it's silent. And when I try to turn it back on, it's also silent. You can just see the light effect just showing the Bluetooth speaker is turned on. The next feature you'd want to check out is the light effect. So under light control, you should see the light effect. You can use the color picker to select any color you want. You can also enable color cycle here if you want to, and as you can see, the effect has been applied. So this is going to be changing the color randomly. You don't have to like manually pick the colors here. So as you can see, once I try to pick the color here, it turns off, and once you have it turned on, it's automatically going to pick the colors for you. So after playing around with the light effect, selecting your favorite light, you can now go back and you scroll up and you should see equalizer. Now equalizer is the next feature you need to check out. Without the app, you wouldn't be able to tweak the sound coming out from this speaker, and you're just going to get the Oraimo signature settings, which was already pre-installed for this speaker. Now with the equalizer, you get two options here. You can select standard, Oraimo signature, or vocal. You also get an option to create your own personalized equalizer, so you can move this up so it fits your preference or however you want your speaker to sound. So you can set the lows, highs, and mids with the equalizer here. Once you are done, you tap on save, and this is going to be saved as a preset. So as you can see, create one, and to delete it, you can just long press and you get this button to delete it, and you tap on confirm. Now when you have it set to standard, you are definitely going to notice a difference, and when you have it set to the Oraimo signature, there's also a difference as well. So this allows you to tweak the sound settings and make your own as well if you want to, just by tapping on the create button here. Now the next feature you also want to check out is the karaoke effect. So under equalizer, you should see karaoke effect here. Now this allows you to sing along So once you have your microphone connected to the Oraimo Spacebox Pro, you'll be able to enable this feature, which is going to allow you to adjust the bass, treble, volume, and even reverb as well. So as you can see here, plug in your microphone, turn it on, and drag the bars below to adjust the karaoke effect. So whenever you want to sing along, just remember the Oraimo Spacebox Pro has a mic input port, and you also get a feature in the app which allows you to tweak the settings based on the volume, treble, bass, and also reverb, as you can see right here. Now another feature you should definitely have turned on the Oraimo Spacebox Pro is heavy bass, and by default this is not turned on. So by default you are getting the standard equalizer, which is the Oraimo signature. Once you have the heavy bass turned on, you definitely notice a difference. So if you want that deep bass, then you definitely need to make sure you have the heavy bass feature turned on. This is not really a hidden feature. You can easily have this turned on the Oraimo Spacebox Pro just by pressing the bass button here once, and this is going to activate the heavy bass feature. So with this, even without the app, you can still have access to it just by pressing on the button here, and you can now have the heavy bass feature activated on the Oraimo Spacebox Pro. And you can also notice the difference when you have it turned on and when you have it turned off. Now before I go to the battery saving tips, these are some key controls you need to have in mind. Now a single press shows you how much battery you have left. So as you can see, we have 3 bars here, and double pressing on the power button again allows you to switch between modes, so card reader, aux, and also USB drive connected to the Oraimo Spacebox Pro. Now the next thing you also want to have in mind is when you long press on the Bluetooth, or when you single press on the Bluetooth button, it's going to disconnect from the device you have it connected to, and that's one of the easiest way to disconnect the Bluetooth from the connected device. You can also double press to enable true wireless pairing. So if you have the exact same Bluetooth speaker, you can easily have both of these speakers connected for a much better sound. Now this next button is something I know you already know. So this allows you to decrease and increase the volume. This same button allows you to skip forward and also play the previous track. For that, you have to long press for it to work, and skip to another track, you also have to long press for it to work. But to increase the volume, you just have to single press one. With the play button, as you already know, a single press plays the music, a single press pause the music. And also when you have calls, you can easily pick calls with the play button as well. A single press would answer the call, and a single press again would hang up the call. You can decline the call entirely just by long pressing for like 2 seconds. That would decline the call totally. Now this allows you to change the light effect, and to turn it on, you need to long press to turn it on. Turn it off, you do the exact same thing, which is going to turn on the light effect. But if you just want to change, if you want to change the light effect, you single press and it's going to change the light effect. So even with this, you might not need the app to even do that. So you just single press and it's going to change the light effects. Now one last thing in the app. So the app also allows you to update firmware. So when you scroll down, you can see update firmware here. And if there's a firmware available for the Oraimo Spacebox Pro or your Oraimo Spacebox Pro, it's going to show up here, and you can easily update the firmware on your speaker. So to be very honest, the Spacebox Pro has a very good battery life so far based on my usage. There are a few things you can also do to increase its battery like usage, so you can squeeze out more time out of it whilst you have it outside playing music where you know you wouldn't be able to charge it on time. Now these are a few settings and features you can have turned off in order to help you save battery life on the Oraimo Spacebox Pro. So the very first one is turning off heavy bass. Now you having heavy bass turned off on the Oraimo Spacebox Pro would actually help it save much battery, because it's not going to use that much power to produce that heavy bass sound you actually want to. Even with the standard Oraimo signature, you still feel the bass, but you only use it when necessary. So having this turned off would improve battery life and would give you more long listening section. Now the next thing you also want to turn off, I know you already guessed it, is the light effect. So this light effect gives a vibe to the Oraimo Spacebox Pro, and like it actually creates a kind of vibe, but having it turned off also extend or gives you more playtime on the Oraimo Spacebox Pro. For me, I normally have it turned off. It's nice though, but I normally have it turned off. Now the next settings or feature you want to have turned on is playtime boost. So this can be found under the more section, and you can easily have this turned on. So this is playtime boost. So just have in mind, once you have this turned on, boost the volume of the music whilst consuming less battery. But also have in mind, under this mode, or once you have this mode turned on, the equalizer and the light settings are going to be disabled. So the light settings is going to be disabled, the equalizer feature is also going to be disabled. So you definitely notice the difference in sound. The bass is going to be less and all that. You notice the difference in sound. So that's something you need to have in mind. There's a button here which allows you to turn off the Oraimo Spacebox, so you don't have to, Spacebox Pro, so you don't have to long press here to turn it off. So you can easily or remotely turn this off with the device. You tap on the power button here, then you select turned off. I actually wish there was an option to allow you to turn it back on using this same method or procedure, but yeah, it is what it is. The app also gives you insights on the battery percentage. As you can see here, we now have 60% left. You can increase and decrease the volume. So this is the Oraimo Spacebox Pro, and just let me know down in the comment section, would you get this for yourself? Also check in the description for links to get it for less. And yeah, these are a few settings, features to check out, and as always, stay safe.